I got your wig and yes, you're still mad. I got your wig and ha 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 ha. I got your wig and ha 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 ha. You're so upset and I could care less. Get out of my face. I got your wig and yes, you're still mad. Ooh, you're mad, bitch.
Okay, Jax, forget something. You guys, not to change the subject, but yeah. Sutton, you guys know her the best, right? I feel like you guys are the closest with her. Small esophagus. I feel like I'm beating a dead horse.
Okay, I
but
have a
it's
question for
driving me
you.
bananas.
Why do you care?
Because
Why?
I'm in healthcare.
Okay, so a bunch of you guys tagged me in this clip of Annemarie talking to Sutton about her esophagus, and I finally had time to watch the episode, so now I'm gonna weigh in. I think it was very disturbing how Annemarie was like weaponizing her medical profession to tell Sutton things about her own condition. I'm gonna digress a little bit here and just talk about the esophagus. So the esophagus exists for one reason, which is to get food from your mouth into your stomach. It's just like a long, narrow tube. Sometimes the esophagus can have a stricture, which is a narrowing, and it can be severe or it can be mild. The first symptom that patients usually present with is difficulty swallowing. So you don't just chew your food more. Like a stricture is a stricture, and you can chew your food all you want, but unless you blend it into a smoothie, if your stricture is narrow, you're gonna have like the feeling of some food stuck in your esophagus. The most common cause is GERD, which is reflux disease, very common, peptic ulcer disease, cancer, eosinophilic esophagitis. Now, I specialize in thoracic anesthesia, so I'm very, very familiar with the procedures that we use to dilate the narrowing. It's basically we put a scope down the patient's mouth and go into the esophagus and locate where the stricture is. And then using a bougie, a balloon, or a guided wire, we are able to tent open the stricture a little bit more. I have done hundreds of these surgeries, and it's a minor procedure. You do have to undergo general anesthesia for it most of the time.
Scoured all of my medical books. I went to work.
She asked questions.
I asked anesthesiologists. I asked ENTs. They said, you can say that to a lay person, but if you say that to someone in medicine, you look stupid. Small esophagus is not the reason. Did you have an eating disorder?
Coming to you live from my kitchen counter in pajamas because this is the only time I'm going to have to do this. I've been meaning to respond to the countless number of messages, DMs, and tweets about the Beverly Hills Sutton esophagus issue with Annemarie. I just haven't had time, so here's my quick take. I'm not going to bore you with the medical details. Tiffany Moon did a great post, so if you want to go check that out, go for it. But here's my personal opinion on this. This is not a question about whether you are a nurse, a CRNA versus a physician. It does not matter where you fall in the spectrum, all the way from being a tech to being a doctor. You join the profession to be an advocate for patients. And as such, it is not our place to belittle, question, or demean a patient's symptoms or diagnosis. We are there to facilitate and help the patient through the medical process. And it was just very uncomfortable and cringy to watch Annemarie belittle Sutton's symptoms in such a way. She's a lovely person, Annemarie. I met her at BravoCon. We sat on the panel, but that scene was a no.
What did you think of Dr. Nicole stepping in and giving her assessment online? Because it seems like from what you're telling us right now, it didn't seem like she understood your intention.
Yeah, so I was really very hurt by Dr. Nicole doing that. You know, as a colleague in anesthesia practice, she knows my training, she knows my skill set, she knows my knowledge base. And so I would think that, you know, if you see something and you're kind of wondering, like, why are you going along that line of questioning? Why wouldn't you offer that professional courtesy and reach out to me and kind of ask and say, oh, I wasn't really comfortable with that. Like, why were you doing that? And then as another, you know, reality TV personality, she knows that, you know, you don't always get the full picture. And so I feel like for both of those reasons, it would have made, if she actually was responding because she really cared, she would have reached out to me. And I actually did reach out to her after I was told that she made a video, and, you know, she didn't respond to it, which, you know, shows me that this wasn't so much about clarifying anything for anyone. It was really, unfortunately, about trying to capitalize off of the Beverly Hills show. And, you know, I guess this is what the kids call clout chasing, right? Like, you're just trying to capitalize on the moment for likes and whatever it is. And as I said, as a colleague, that was professionally really inappropriate, I think, and it was very hurtful.
You're implying that she's an eating disorder.
I'm not. For the record, those are Crystal's words, not mine. I never said that. I'm just taking information that I feel like the other girls wouldn't have known to put together and question, because to them, they don't know it doesn't make sense, right? They're not in healthcare. So I'm taking information that doesn't make sense. Crystal is taking it a whole step further. Crystal has an eating disorder, so she's probably more sensitive to that, right? And rightfully so. I get that, and I respect that. But don't put that on me. And I will always, 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 I hope you get that by now, I will always own what I say, and I will always say what I mean.
Everywhere I would go, she would grab someone to talk about Sutton's esophagus. She would like go over and suddenly she's like with Teddy talking and then Garcelle.
And I got up and I moved around. And then I went back maybe an hour later and there were more people talking about your esophagus.
I think those people had forgotten why they were there. You know what we call that in the South? Tacky.
I'm not purposely talking behind Sutton's back about this. I haven't seen her since. And I've seen other people. And I'm like, hey, let me bounce this off you, because again, this came from Kyle.
Kyle's friend committed suicide. And this organization, NAMI,
You're a big part of.
well, I'm an ambassador for. And suicide prevention is a big part of what they do. And they were there that night.
Yeah.
So, and my father committed suicide. So if she thinks that she's going to come up to me.
She didn't know about your dad. She did not know about your
Okay,
dad, but
she knows everything about everything else, but she doesn't know that my dad committed suicide. I
She
do
did not know
not
that.
believe that for 1 second.
I wanted to talk to Sutton about it. And then Garcelle filled me in and said that Sutton's father had also sadly committed suicide. So of course this is not the night to do it at all, right? I'm gonna respect what we're here for, respect Kyle, respect Sutton, respect Lorene, and it's not the night to do it. So I didn't want to bring it up to her then. But then Garcelle went to Sutton and said, probably like, hey, she's talking about it again, which whatever, it is what it is.
It doesn't matter, even if she didn't know. Where are you, Annemarie? This is basically a memorial service.
right.
We have family members present. What are you doing? I dare you.
Ew. Like JK, but like maybe not. But thank you for watching. But you hating ass bitches always have something to say. Hating ass bitch, but you're still watching my vids. What? You're so upset. But that's like okay, because have a piece of bread, have a Xanax, relax, because I said what I said.